And BR Brazil 1718 says Spence was criticised by managers at his loan clubs because of his attitude. To give credit, Ange decided to take a look at him, like what he saw, and decided to give him a probation period. Thank goodness that he grabbed the opportunity and proved his worth. Ben is wrong to criticise a situation he doesn't know the details of.
But you're right to not criticise it because you don't know the full details either. Like,
well, we're giving him credit because what we're seeing now, Jed in full flight playing very well, and we're giving Ange the credit for keeping him around, keeping with him, and giving him an opportunity.
What other option did he have?
Get rid of him.
How could he get rid of him when no one would pay for him?
Or not put him in, or not give him opportunities.
Not play him in. No, he didn't do that.
Not play him in pre-season. Didn't have to.
Not play him. Oh, he kind of did with the injuries that we had.
No, but did he play Reguilon in pre-season?
Did Reguilon even go?
I don't know. Exactly. That's my point.
I don't know if Reguilon was even there. Maybe
he gave him an opportunity. He said, I want to have a look at him. I want to keep him around.
Yeah, and he flourished in pre-season, and we saw him in a bit part role up until now, and he's only been playing because of injuries.
He got a few opportunities early on.
Hardly.
He's played 4 of our first 7 games in parts of it.
He played a couple of minutes at the end of each game.
Yeah, but he was getting a few minutes. I'm saying he was getting reintegrated into the squad. You've got to remember he's been out of the squad. He hasn't actually played a Premier League game for Tottenham from the start before Ange actually.
I know.
So he's been out the team. So he has to be reintegrated to the squad, and he has to as well prove
a lot. He showed his worth throughout the first half of the campaign. Anytime he was called upon. For him not to be in the look, we've been through this a million times. So I mean, for him not to be in the European squad, for us to not rotate the fullbacks pretty much at all throughout the first half of the season.
He did. Gray was playing regularly fullback. Played in the City in the Cup game as well. That fullback. So he was playing regularly.
You're talking about one player being rotated. You need to rotate 2 players. One position was being like Gray was either playing right back or left back. Like, where was Jed Spence?
Yeah, I mean, because he was in the Europa League squad, he can play in the Europa League.
Yeah, but why? Because he went for Fraser Forster instead, which is obviously a horrible decision.
Yeah, it wasn't a good decision. I agree with that. But I'm just saying, well, the way Jed Spence is now, I just don't understand why we're looking at that and saying it's a critical thing of Ange, when I think Ange should be getting credit for reintegrating Jed effectively into the squad, and now he's a big part of the team. And I think sometimes these things happen as well. Like, you remember when Bale under Redknapp wasn't getting a look in, he had to wait till Suakoto got injured to get a look in, and all of a sudden he went flying. Like, sometimes that's how it happens in football. Like, it's not always sort of black and white.
Yeah, but I think when you have such limited options, it is a bit black and white, because we had no options. We had no other left back in the squad. We had to play a central midfielder at right back, at left back, at centre back, which is not the point. But when you had literally a full back there that can play both positions, and he does it to a high level.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm just saying the fact that he is here part of the squad now and he's playing really well.
He was always part of the squad.
Not always. Not before Ange, he wasn't.
Okay, I'm talking about this season.
Yeah, but my point is Ange deserves credit for where Jed is now. That's my only point. Forget of whether you should use him early or whatever. My point is, this guy was out in the cold. This guy was cast aside. Everyone was happy for him to leave. And now he's a really good player, and he's part of the squad now and fully reintegrated and has his head screwed on. I think Ange deserves some credit for that.
So you don't think there's any element of luck in it whatsoever?
There might be some element of luck, but that's by the by. That you like,
it's not by the by.
It is by the by. Because,
why is it by the by?
Because if you look at the overall picture, that's the most important thing. Yes, these in the grand scheme of things, Jed's first 6 months where he wasn't getting enough of a look in is not going to mean anything if we've got a real player who's going to be here for years and actually going to be a real big part of the team. The way it's come about, Ange deserves credit, because now this guy is really integrated. Now, actually, we've got a very useful fullback here who's willing, who's a big part of the squad and is playing really well, right? And before that incident, everyone was happy for him to leave. So the fact that you know, we've got him now, and the fact that he's a big part of the team would if a different manager came in, maybe they would have cast him aside like other managers did, and so
or maybe another manager would have given him a chance right from the very start of the season.
But I'm saying the long-term view, the bigger picture, the fact we
proved his chance in pre-season.
Yeah, but the fact we got a really good fullback now, I think Ange deserves credit for reintegrating him in the overall, in my opinion, rather than just saying it's just down to luck and you know, Ange doesn't deserve any credit for it because he's still here and he's relied upon, and I think Ange deserves credit for that.
Yeah, but he should have used him a lot more. It's just the reality. Like maybe Udogie wouldn't have got injured. Maybe Porro wouldn't have played as many minutes as he has now and been out on his feet for the last couple of months, you know.
But that's not. I'm just talking about Jed. I'm just talking about Jed himself.
Yeah, but it's the whole bigger. It's the whole. Everything comes into it. It's not just about Jed. It's about the overload and the overworked fullbacks that we've had all season because of the situation that Ange has created.
That's a different question, though. We're
It's
talking
not a
about
different question.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is because I'm talking about just Jed. I'm not talking about the management of the squad. I'm talking about does he deserve credit for the emergence of Jed? And I think he does.
But it's all part of it.
Okay, I'm just saying, and if in 3 years' time, when if Jed's still here and balling out, and he's like one of the best fullbacks in the league, and he's playing really well, right? We're not going to say, well, 6 months in, he didn't get a look in, and you know, we're going to say, look how good he is.
Yeah, but it's
that's
irrelevant.
my point.
It's
That's the
irrelevant.
relevant part.
It's not relevant because in 3 years' time we can talk about that. But right now, here and now, when our fullbacks have been overplayed and overworked, and you've got a player that has come in that has been completely out in the cold, not even been part of the Europa League squad. Like, where has he been the first half of the season? Where was he when Udogie had to keep coming on because we got injuries? Like, he had to come on so early in some of these Europa League games where he wasn't in the plan to play. Pedro Porro played the most amount of minutes out of anyone in Europe's top 6 leagues or something stupid like that. Like, where was Jed to give a rotation option for him when he should have been that option? If he's in the squad, he should be the option.
Okay, all right.